Top 10 most expensive steaks in the world. Whether it's a classic cut prepared in a traditional way or an artisanal beef with a modern twist, steak dishes are more often than not a surefire way to stoke someone's appetite. In North America, they are typically served grilled, pan-fried, or broiled. Steak knives with the wooden handles accompany the dish as well as a steak sauce. While not many of us have had the opportunity to sink our teeth into any of the prime juicy beef that follows, this list is a tasty treat for all the steak lovers and meat eaters to delight in. Number 10. Wagyu Tomahawk. Price for 22 ounces serving, $109. Many restaurants serve the Wagyu Tomahawk as a la carte for customers to spot it while it moves on the platter through the dining room. The creativity of the ribeye is its 22 ounces trimmed off the bone, leaving it having an X-like shape, which weighs only 30 ounces. It's served in an old style. It is famous for its marbling and delightful flavor, and it's one of the prized beef in Japan. A tomahawk is a ribeye with the bone trimmed off for a stunning presentation. It is incredibly tender, perforated with a mouth-watering marbling texture and juicy beef flavor. The fats in the steak melt into the beef when being cooked, revitalizing the taste. A tomahawk will deliver a more appealing, robust flavor than a tenderloin. Wagyu beef's history dates back to some centuries, and the name Wagyu means Japanese cow. The beef derives from a Japanese breed that contains a very high content of fat, marbling. Skilled ranchers raise these cattle under stress-free environments with individual care and some specialized practices that guarantee high-value produce. To attain the highest class of flavor, tracing of the cattle breed line is carefully done to determine the cow's lineage. This is very important to protect the flavor, and eventually its marbling. The fat that is within the meat is what is referred to as marble, and its vitality in the cooking process is essential as it gives the meat its rich and tender flavor. Number 9. Wagyu Kobe Ribeye Cheese Steak. Price for 8 ounces serving, $180. On the list of quality most expensive beef is the Kobe Ribeye cheesesteak. It has a delightful taste cut with foie gras and peppered with cheese, truffles, heirloom-shaped potatoes, caramelized onions, and is served on a homegrown bruschetta roll. The Kobe beef is expensive and you can get it at the cost of $100. The roll is served with a glass of a Dom Perignon 2000, a perfect casual dish that is superb for dinner dates, an accompaniment with charm and creativity. Rearing of a Wagyu cattle is slow and natural, resulting in fatty streaks on the beef, which gives it a unique and creamy texture. Its steak has a feel that of foie gras, which according to the myths, the cattle are fed with beer and get massaged by human hands. The meat is pale in its raw state with an ungodly amount of fat. This means the extended lifespan of the cattle is translating to more cost on the meat price. Outside Japan, in the Beverly Hills, an 8-ounce ribeye of 100% Wagyu beef costs $160. Number 8. Wagyu Ribeye. Price for 8-ounce serving, $144. The marbling Wagyu ribeye steaks are available and served in many restaurants in America. The cattle are imported from Australia and are of the same famed breeds from Japan. They are raised for over 18 months on free range and for 360 days. The cattle are fed with a unique formulation from Japan of grain that will guarantee the steak an exquisite tenderness. The steak scored MS5. 1 to 9 plus scale, a top shelf steak. Taking a quick look at the steak, one immediately notices the astonishing amount of the milky intramuscular fat networking across the steak. This, while cooking, will translate to a rich, creamy flavor with an incredible butter knife grain that thaws in your mouth. Wagyu ribeyes can be cut by hand into different sizes. Steaks sold vary in sizes from 8 to 14 ounces. It is advisable that you cook on a grill pan instead of an open flame, since the extra fat marbling on the beef will melt on the grill and can cause explosions or flare-ups. Number 7. Japanese Wagyu Ribeye. Price for 18 ounces, serving $144. The Japanese Wagyu ribeye is from the Japanese famed black Kuroge cattle, which is admired in Japan for their high-quality meat. The cows are reared and raised by experts from Japan, who strictly follow the cultural feeding procedures to the letter that produce beef with their international standards. These cattle are seen to be superior to the Tajima cattle used for Kobe steaks, produce beef that has a velvety texture, elegant and brilliant marbling. After the meat is cooked and served, it becomes tender with noticeable mild, sweet flavor. This Wagyu beef ranks very high in the strict Japanese rating system. With an A5, it is an excellent beef score for quality and yield, with class. Details such as brightness and color, texture and firmness, luster, color, and the fat quality. Of all the Wagyu cattle produced in Japan, only 3% score this. Its flavor and tenderness are untouchable. This is the last beef that sets up the novel bar. Number 6. Wagyu Kobe steak. Price for 6 ounces serving, $144. The reason as to why Kobe beef is priced so high is that it is well thought out to be the most marble steak in the world. It is packed with the most decadent, creamiest, and flavored steaks of fat that most steaks rarely have. Because of the strict standards, barely 3,000 cows pass through these qualifications as good Kobe cattle every year. You surely need to differentiate between Kobe and Wagyu beef. And all Kobe steaks are Wagyu, but not all Wagyu steak is Kobe. However, Kobe steak is the most globally recognized Wagyu brand. There are other types of Wagyu including Omi, Matsusaka, and Bungo beef, which has been raised in unlike prefectures in Japan which are subject to their regulations. There are common mistakes that grillers make while a Kobe steak barbecue or grill. Leave the lid open and if when searing Kobe steaks, and make sure to keep eye contact to it. After moving it to indirect heat, you can close the lid and let the smoke walk through it. If you are using charcoal, keep it at a steady temperature for grilling the Kobe steak. The charcoal is ready when turned white and no smoke is produced. Number 5. Wagyu Siloin. Price for 10.5 ounces, serving $169. Wagyu Siloin is commonly known and it is a thick steak, special in most restaurants for its deep flavor that is of great value. Its fillets are cut from the top sirloin, a substantial gutless portion which many contemplate being superior to the lower sirloin. Many restaurants' top sirloin steak are perfectly flavored, thin, and have a reasonable tenderness. The mark of the sirloin cuts. The steaks are highly flexible for steak or sirloin tips. The steaks are highly flexible for steak and sirloin tips. Ideal for marinades of your preference and can be prepared directly on the grill. You can enjoy the mouth-watering tenderness of a Wagyu top sirloin and experience the sensation that goes along with it. Top sirloin steaks can be seared and roasted, broiled or grilled to a perfect preference that can suit any occasion. Barrage Al Arab is the most famous place in Dubai where you can spend the steak at a specific time for about 10.5 ounces. Number 4. Select Special Kobe Fillet. Price for 5.6 ounces, serving at $246. The American-style selects special Kobe fillet and strip steaks are a seamless pairing for an exquisite delicacy. The creamy tender filet mignon with an excellent Wagyu marbling and the vigorous flavor and texture of the Kobe sirloin strip steaks will make a memorable impression on your plate. If you got a credit card with you, it's possible that you can eat just like sumo wrestlers do. The famed Japanese Kobe steaks is one of the world's steaks produced in line with the stickiest legal food standards. The meat must carry 10-digit identification number to know the origin. Most restaurants will cook and serve with a style suggestive of a trained sumo wrestler's way of grilling wild boars 200 years ago. Number 3. Charbroiled Kobe Fillet. Price for 8 ounces, serving at $258. Charbroiled Kobe fillet is known to be the most expensive steaks in Tokyo. The steak weighs 8 ounces, costing about $258, and its origin is the local Wagyu farms. The raising of the cattle is not a walk in the park, but involves massaging and feeding the animals of sake while treating them fairly. It is believed in mythical theories that a happy bull will in turn produce better meat. The steak is the juiciest and fattiest Kobe beef in the world. The steak is served correctly the way it should with minimally seasoned salt, mustard, and pepper. To experience the unique taste and flavors intended, it is advisable that you don't complicate the seasoning. Number 2. Full-blood Wagyu Tenderloin, price of 14.1 ounces, serving at $295. This is the premium dish of the Prime restaurant in Sydney, Australia, which serves whopping 14.1. Wagyu Tenderloin has the marbling score of 9+. The steak has got a whole lot tender and mouth-watering fat. The steak is from the meat of the cattle that has been fed for nearly 600 days. Currently, the Wagyu meat has the highest score outside Japan and the most expensive and luxurious one too. The cattle are bred and raised in Alexandria, Victoria by David Blackmore, Australia's award-winning Wagyu rancher, and his meat is only sold to the Prime restaurant of Sydney. Number 1. A5 Kobe steak, price of 12 ounces, serving at $350. This is the most expensive cut of beef globally, and it tastes delicious. It is served in the Old Homestead Steakhouse, presented in very luxurious Big Apple style. The ingredients have an appealing taste and are free from fats. The steak thaws in your mouth and on the tongue without any more need. The price of this steak is about $350. Though the cow meats on the list are not affordable for most of us, you can, nevertheless, grill up the slightly chewer budget sirloin. If you don't already know it, the original word steak speaks of the beef or any meat on a stick. These steaks have surely made your mouth water. Until next time, talkers.